Hey guys, welcome back. So in the last video I did an overview of where I am on the overall build process, but thought in this video I'd dive into some of the details as I finish putting everything together. So this is the Kitako TL3 Type 3 seat that I ordered from WeBike. It was relatively inexpensive, it was about $70. Again, shipping's pretty expensive from WeBike, but if you bundle it with a bunch of other stuff, it ends up being a lot more affordable. But the seat fits really nicely on the bike. Looking at photos, I wasn't exactly sure how the seat mounts to the frame. The bike that I bought didn't actually come with a seat, but this one is set up so that you can shift it forward and backward and have it sit exactly the way that you'd like it to. In the front, there's also two different heights that you can have the seat so that you can have it come up a little more in the front and follow the contour of the tank, or have it a little bit lower if you need that extra standover height. I don't think standover height is going to be a problem on this bike for anybody, myself or my wife. Unlike the 2019 Monkey that stands surprisingly tall, even with my Takagawa tuck and roll seat, this one has plenty of clearance for myself and my wife or anybody that would be riding it. Here's the proprietary battery that I mentioned in the previous video. It's actually the size of a regular 12-volt battery, pretty similar to the one that's in the 2019 Monkey, but it has these proprietary connectors with positive and negative on the top here that correspond with this connector that carries a fuse as well as an extra fuse. The connector has tracks to make sure that it fits correctly so that it just slides and clicks in like that. And the rest of the electronics are tucked here on the other side. Alright, so before I invest too much into this engine, I want to get it started, hear it run, and shift through the gears just to make sure the internals are good. And then I'll go ahead and work on completing it. But the last thing that I need to do to get it running is get the carburetor on. I'll just use my external fuel bladder to get some fuel into it, get it running, shift it through the gears, make sure it's all good, and then I'll keep working on it. The carburetor that came with the bike is in a really poor condition. The slide is actually rusted in there. I can't get the cable out. I will keep it just because at some point I may feel like restoring it just as a project in itself, but for now, since I'm not planning on keeping such a small carburetor anyway once I go big bore, I decided just to pick up a very cheap reproduction carburetor. This was from Amazon. I think it was literally $15 and is a decent, actually a super close replication of the original one. So hopefully it'll work well enough to get it started. I tested compression earlier. It was getting decent compression. My compression tester was showing about 110 PSI, although again I think that it's showing a falsely low number because I'm getting similarly low numbers on other engines that run really well. I am getting spark that I tested by grounding it to the block and spinning it with my hacked together CDI setup. I'm still waiting on the key system, so I'm not using the real wiring harness that I have on the bike right now. But the spark that I'm getting is pretty faint. I'm not sure if that's just indicative of this different 12-volt stator system compared to the bright spark I get off of the 6-volt from the CT bikes, or if it's that the alternator system, you saw how rusted it was in the previous video, that even maybe after cleaned it's still not generating enough power. Anyway, it's getting some spark, so I'll go ahead and test it out. If I am not able to get it to start though, working on the stator is probably going to be my next step, since this brand new carb should be good enough to get it to fire, even if it's not tuned perfectly. I also don't have my throttle system yet. I ordered the OEM throttle tube and grips from a company in Japan. That won't be here for another week or so, so I'm just going to I do have the throttle cable, so I'll just pull it by hand to actuate the slide inside of the carburetor. Anyway, I'm going to bolt this on, get the fuel line hooked up, and see if she fires. Alright, I've got my ear pro on. I've got the fuel ring through. I've got the choke on. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm really excited that that started as easily as it did. First I tried it with the choke, it wouldn't go. I then took it off choke, kept spinning in it, and it eventually came on. Then I flipped it back to choke and things were still good. My guess it just took a moment for the fuel to come through my system and into the carb. But it sounded pretty good for not having an exhaust and not having run for as long as it has, and also for being in such poor shape with all of the rust that I cleaned up. I'm just real happy that the alternator seems to still work, and from here I can really dig in because I got a runner. A few weeks ago I mentioned in a video that superclean reached out to me and sent a bunch of products to try out in my garage, and I've been using them pretty extensively on my projects since then. They just offered to also let me send out some of their products to one of my subscribers, so I thought I'd try to do a simple giveaway. This is only open to subscribers in the United States. I'll do some other giveaways in the future that I can send anywhere in the world, but this will actually be shipped directly from superclean once I select a winner. So I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and leave a comment in this video below. Next Friday, so January 15th, I'll go ahead and take all of the names of everybody that has left a comment, put them in a random number generator, and whoever pops out, I'll reply to your comment to let you know that you won and how to reach out to me so that we can link up and get those products over to you. So big thank you to superclean for supplying the cleaning products that I'm using in my garage. Thank you for offering to send some of those to one of the subscribers of this channel. Thanks to all of you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Keep on building.